Part of what makes Total War Warhammer specifically so special is its faction variety, and we've got quite the doozy of a matchup today with Vampire Coast versus Khorne. That's right. It's Blood and Water here, folks. This replay from Elios on Discord. Let's take a look at the builds here. He's got a Vampire Admiral pistol on foot, the best pistol girl in the entire game. Armor-piercing pistol with the Hunger, 70 armor, very solid stats overall, and sweet animations. Along with some Night Terrors, we've got plenty of zombies, looks like a mix of handguns, and some polearms with some depth guard mixed in as well, including the Regiment of Renown. Surprising. Could have fooled me. Animated Hulks, and looks like Lamprey's Revenge as well. Some more Regiments of Renown, Black Spot as well, and yeah, Warriors of Chaos going to be on the opposite side. Excuse me, in my spring allergies, but we got Valkia here and Lore of Slaanesh. Very good stuff. Love that lore attribute for Slaanesh. Spamming those lashes for that sweet back-wide plus 12 melee attack. Poison Warhounds out to the sides here, and probably the same over here. Yep, supported by Skull Crushers. Wow. Okay, that's pretty serious. We've got some Marauders here. It looks like some Grey Weapons as well. 3 Halberds, and an Exalted Hero of Tzeentch. So, let's get things going. I mean, they're already going, but let's continue them, like so. And yeah, this map's interesting. It's I believe this is Peak Pass. And basically it's this big pass of 2 peaks, and you can kind of make your way forward. Right now, the Vampire Coast player very much just playing defensively, fine to concede the slope. And they are conceding a decent slope. It's not like crazy steep, especially once you get all the way out to the ends here, but there's somewhat of a slope. Could potentially lead to some line of sight issues depending on different artillery types, but not today. There's no artillery on the field, so let's just continue fast forwarding as the guns are going to come forward here. One thing about zombie guns that of course everyone should know is they're painfully slow, and repositioning them takes like 100 years, so you need to definitely kind of almost plan your moves like 2 or 3 steps ahead of time, to know like what you want to be doing with them at all times. Not that they're crazy expensive. They're relatively cheap as far as armor-piercing missiles go, but they're also not that cheap. I mean, 500 it's painful enough, especially if you lose a number of them. And the Black Spot, of course, being the Regiment of Renown that they are, they gain bayonets, which gives them charge resistance and anti-large in melee. Their stats are still very poor, though, so you definitely don't want them fighting anything besides large targets if you can avoid it in melee. And you pretty much don't want them fighting large targets either, to be honest. But there you go. Yeah. Chaos Warriors closing the distance. The Exalted Hero of Tzeentch on foot here. Interesting choice. Going to be quite cheap, and does have the Book of Secrets. So basically just hoping for 2 Fate of Unas here. And does have some good targets also to cast them on. These Depth Guard are certainly going to be juicy potential targets for that, but if it does go with one of the other effects, it's not going to be completely useless. Like, I don't know, the weakness to fire and the enfeebling foe. You need quick follow-up of other units to be able to capitalize on the value, right? Because they're just debuffs after all. But let's see here, a little bit of gunfire from a couple of these handguns, but like even these handguns right now, as far forward as they are, they are at danger already of being swarmed and rushed down. Like, they need to start moving back immediately and move the depth guard forward to intercept, because even as it is right now, they're probably going to get caught just because they're so painfully slow. But let's get in close as these other zombie guns open up on Valkia. Again, by the time they're reacting, it's going to be too late, but Marauders will charge in there and get some good value. Good old Chaos Marauders, ever reliable as they are. Looking to have a grand old time. Still going to get shot up on the approach there a bit. Nice countercharge also from those animated Hulks. Beautiful lash of Slaanesh. Going to be juicing up all those units. Take a look at these Marauders here. They're up to 46 melee attack. So pretty good stuff. We've also got the Halberds rushing in here on the appropriate targets, as does the Exalted Hero. But so far, Lamprey's Revenge holding okay. The animated Hulk's definitely suffering. Skull Crusher's also scythe in from the side. But the counterattack for the Vampirates is real. We've also got a Curse of Years. Wow, I didn't even realize... I mean, I knew it was a spell still, but it's been quite some time since I've seen it. That's actually going to help counteract a good degree of that Slaanesh melee attack buff from the Blissful Rapture. Yeah, you can see the Chaos Warrior Halberds down to 18 melee attack. Marauder's also getting debuffed significantly, 22, even with the Blissful Rapture. So, Curse of Years definitely lasts quite a long time. Going to help this pocket kind of sustain here. Not that these units are probably doing that much damage anyway, but still is interesting to see, especially for something like the animated Hulks and the zombies, I guess, too, where their defenses are fairly poor, and help them take less hits. But both sides definitely taking and dishing out some hits. Let's get in this big messy brawl over here. We've got zombies and polearms, halberds even, specifically of Chaos. A few deck guards, yes, nice unit of deck guards hanging around in here as well. Lamprey's Revenge trying to disengage as the Skull Crushers move out and away. Skull Crushers haven't got an insane amount of value yet, but yeah. Those are the Night Terrors. They also haven't got much value either, but the Skull Crushers are up to a respectable 1,000 as the Slaanesh Sorcerer gets chased away by the Night Terrors. Yeah, Valkia also here fighting, using that anti-large flaming damage against the Lamprey's Revenge, where it will be put to great use. Got this massive Hound Force also closing back in, looking to shut down once and for all the guns who have been long-suffering in this engagement. Yeah, unfortunately the Black Spot, I think, are already done, having been rushed down as the reasonably mid-value target that they are. I was going to say high value, but it's just not true. We all know that. I mean, they're what, like 800 points? Definitely mid-tier value for sure. But yeah, that swarming of dogs here is going to do enough leadership damage. Ooh, Lampreys might pop here, which is going to be a big loss. They have a lot of healing cap space left. So if there is any like invocation of the hack or additional healing, try and shore them up a little bit here. No pun intended, of course. It would be very beneficial. It would really be painful to lose them right now, but it looks like the deckhands are going to screen for the Lampreys as they move around. Depth Guard are up to their healing cap. There. This unit here just got hammered by those Skull Crushers, who are now going to come in for another nice charge. Try and lance down. Wow, he just straight up knocked one of those over. One of those animated Hulks. That was quite impressive. Yeah, Skull Crushers, I don't know if they're going to actually pay for themselves, but they are super cool, must be admitted. And they're pretty close to paying for themselves. They're doing alright. Trying to avoid those Depth Guard polearms. Very nice screen by the Vampire Coast player there on the Warhounds. That said, they're having a hard time grinding through everything that's left. Like, the Vampire Infantry has proven superior for the most part. The Depth Guard have been able to hold out and just rack up kills. Lamprey's Revenge have also managed to, surprisingly, survive this entire time. We see a nice little lash over there on the other side, but an Invocation also at long range. I haven't really been highlighting too much the Vampire Lord, but take a look at her value. I mean, she hasn't really been doing a lot besides just support spells, so that's fine. Marauder is going to countercharge Depth Guard. That will predictably result in some synchronized decapitations for the Marauders. Absolutely beautiful. They immediately shatter. And yeah, I mean, this one Depth Guard's at its healing cap. This other one still has some cap space to give. The Night Terrors also hanging on over here is pretty key, providing some actual terror to the Marauders and the Chaos Warrior Halberds and whatnot as they struggle to maintain their leadership. Skull Crushers are going to be in a very similar situation, I would imagine. But, I mean, their HP is low enough. They might just lose out to what's left of the Depth Guards here. By their lack of AP, they're just high overall stats. Against something with that low of HP, yeah, those Skull Crushers don't want to stick around. They're going to run to the hills. Valkia, though, not running to the hills. Going to stay close to a degree. Nice little lash there. Give another melee attack buff. Some of these vampire units are starting to pop. Trusty Zinch Triple Head Bro is fighting also. Boom. Big hit there. We're getting close, and look at his excellent unit model. Just very, very good unit model, to be honest. And I'll be honest, this guy and the recent update for Shadows of Change has got me reasonably hyped. I will say cautiously, optimistically hyped for Thrones of Decay. I'm definitely curious to see what especially the artists have in store for us, but as an Empire enjoyer, probably a little bit biased on that front, but I mean, just look at this dude. As wide as a house with 3 heads and a collar to match. He is grinding it out as best he can. As I just completely miss what's going on in the rest of the battlefield here. We see Valkia moving out in space, as is the Sorcerer. They're just trying to avoid, which kind of tells you how things are going. The balance of power also tells you how things are going, and I definitely agree with this. Empire Coast, even. I knew it was wrong halfway through, but anyway. Nice Dance Macabre there, up to 78 melee attack on those Depth Guard polearms. They're just going to absolutely shred the Exalted Hero. If they can actually get hits on him, it seems like he's actually getting knocked around a little bit, and only maybe 1 or 2 models are in contact, which is certainly painful, but yeah, I mean, he is getting circle beaten by everything that's left. The Admiral also continuing to kite the Slanesh Sorcerer a little bit, pop her pistol as she runs. She's got those monstrous infantry to help protect, so even as Valkia comes knocking, the Admiral can fight with some confidence here. The assistance of her allies, Depth Guards. Yep, looks like she gets matched up against the Slanesh Sorcerer. There, it actually delivers the killing blow. Doesn't get more epic than that, to be honest. As Valkia is likely to hit army losses here very soon. Maybe not quite, but instead the Admiral goes over to fight the new Zinch Bro. It's going to get knocked over by her own animated Hulk, but that's fine. That's fine. Army losses anyway, so all good at the end of the day, and an interesting build for sure. I mean, the melee component here is really what carried. Absolutely, because, I mean, I guess some of the handguns are reasonably cost-effective given how cheap they are, but the Death Guards, man, 270 kills, 1,300 damage value there, 1,000, or 10,000 rather, damage dealt straight on those Death Guard polearms, 60 kills even, 1,666 damage of value, 244 kills here, 17,000 damage dealt, 1,479 damage value, just fantastic from the Death Guard. Nice to see the Night Terrors also contributing. I mean, they didn't do a lot of damage, but tactically, I think those terror routes actually were very useful. And the Admiral also getting some nice support abilities in there, but I mean, really the carry comes from the Depth Guard, which is not something you see every day, so it's nice. No, they didn't have to face any elite like Chosen or anything, which, I mean, not to be expected necessarily in this matchup. The Skull Crushers definitely had their work cut out for them, but just in general, I think the Warriors of Chaos did not expect armored infantry here and did not have the right tools to deal with them. I mean, one Skull Crusher is good, but it's not going to be enough. And, I mean, the Lashes, again, helps. That in and of itself is not going to be enough. You need probably something more to deal with Depth Guards. But it's definitely an interesting one. Definitely an interesting matchup. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.